So what is the correct tee height that you should be using with driver? Now watch till the end, because I think some of you, maybe a lot of you, will think it could be this one, but it just might be one of the other three colours. So when we talk about the correct tee height for driver, I think most of us are aware that if we want to hit the ball as far as we can with driver, what we'd like to see is that club head travelling up into impact with high launch, low spin, and that, we all know, is the recipe for big drives. So if I tee it nice and high on the orange tee, you can see there's my little cut. You can see my low point's 4.9 inches behind the ball, so I've hit up 2.8 degrees, carried at 255 yards and 271 total. So for this video, I'm going to use the castle tees. So I've got orange, pink, white and blue. And I know most golfers, when they come and see me, they desperately want to use the orange. But the danger for a lot of golfers is when they do tee it up high like that, they know that they're going to try and get that low point behind the golf ball, and they definitely hit up on the ball a little bit more. But the danger is this becomes their shot. And we can see that ball curving much more out to the right. The good news is my low point was behind, so I did hit up. But we can see there my club path 9.8 degrees to the left, club face 10.5 degrees open, and that has got disaster written all over it. Now, quite a lot of these golfers, though, that do that will tell me that they actually hit the ball nice and straight with driver. So sometimes for golfers, hitting up isn't the best. It might cost them a few yards by getting the club travelling down, but actually for some golfers, if they're able to use the tee a little bit lower, so I go down to the white tee, and treat it a little bit more like an iron. So don't move the ball quite as far forward, have it a little bit more towards the centre and have that low point ahead of the golf ball. What we know about the golf swing is that, certainly from face on you'll see this, the more the club's travelling up, the more left or out to in it's moving, and the more down it's moving, the more from the inside. So most golfers hit the ball a bit straighter with the irons because that low point's ahead. It allows them to control their path a little bit better. So if I went lower tee, have that ball position not quite as far forward as normal, and then make my normal iron swing, we can see that one bullet straight. And we can see I've still got my low point slightly behind, but the club's travelled down 0.4 degrees. My club path is almost dead straight and my face is dead straight. So that one's actually rolled out a little bit further, but we can see that carries down. So I know what you're thinking, but surely it has to be about teeing it up to help me hitting it further. Well, obviously if you get the ball out the middle of the club face, that's a massive start to getting that big ball speed. But if you can treat it sometimes a bit more like a drive, like an iron, sorry, you don't have to change your swing as much. So then, if I went down to the white tee and saw that, I might even go down to blue, but we can see to get the middle of the club on the ball, I'm probably going to have to get the shaft leaning forward a little bit more, but it's worth trying. Have that ball a bit more near the centre of the stance. And we can see there, even though the strike's a little bit out the toe, really good club path, very like I would see with an iron, low point ahead, and again, still 241 carry, 270 total. So you might be one of those golfers that even though you know that's going to cost you a little bit of carry, because the club's now not having to travel up as much, if you can deliver the club a bit more neutrally, that's going to help you hit the ball straighter. And particularly in the summer when the fairways are nice and firm, if you can get that slightly lower one and straight, the ball's going to get on the floor and run into a good distance more often. Now, I know what you're thinking. You might be thinking, well, job done. This video is absolutely over for me because I can go down to blue or white tee and I'd absolutely take those shots all day long. But if you do want to just tee it up a little bit higher, we could go from the blue to the white to the pink. Then we could move that ball a little further forward. But what we'd have to just rely on now is, because the low point's going to be behind and the club's moving more left, we're going to have to swing a little bit more from the inside, but not as exaggerated as we would with orange tee. So the last couple have been 240 carry, which has been great, but I know if I can get that club moving up, definitely going to get a little bit more out of it. Now just shaping a little bit more than I would like, but we can see my swing direction much more to the right. My path's been a little bit more from the inside. I've hit up 3.6 and then 246 carry and 283. So as I've been moving the tee higher, the change in my swing is feeling that I get the club more from the inside. Now, obviously, we all know that if we can maximise hitting up the orange castle tee, and the only reason I'm using the castle tees is it's about consistency. I think I tend to use wooden tees on the course, but certainly for my coaching, as soon as that's preset, it's one less thing for you to worry about. So again, now we're going to get that teed nice and high. Obviously, as we get higher with the tee, we can move that ball position a little further forward and make that little change on swing direction. So now I'd be hoping, if I can get strike and everything right, 260 carry or more, and then that little bit more distance. It's getting a little bit low off the face, but we can see swing direction to the right, path very neutral, 3.8 degrees up, but all of a sudden 271 carry and 293 total. Now, definitely for me, I'm one of those golfers who's never happy with how far he's hitting it. What I can't really do, though, is by trying to get that extra distance, suddenly have, big pulls and big slices in there. So as long as you understand that as that tee height moves up, you can adjust the ball position to help with the low point. But the more you want to hit up, the more you have to swing from the inside. And if you can get really comfortable with that, you want to get to that point where 271, 293 is nice, but can, with that nice high tee, for me, can I feel nice and quick, swing to the right, and get one out 300 yards. Just cut in a little bit. So again, it's a good strike, 3.4 degrees up, 270 carry and 285. But what I would say there is, if you're somebody who really wants to hit up a lot, orange tee, pink tee can be absolutely fantastic. And by moving that ball position forward, you then need to swing more from the inside. But if you're a golfer that's maybe not as comfortable changing their swing with driver, but you feel you're a very good iron player, potentially going white or even blue allows you to keep that low point ahead. And even though you might not absolutely maximize how far you could be hitting the ball, you'll keep the ball in play. We could see it probably cost me 30 yards on carry, but total only ended up about 10, 15 yards different. Now for me, like I said, I want to squeeze as much as I can out, so tee it high, let it fly. But if you are a good iron player, don't be afraid to tee driver down, put the same swing on it that you do with an iron, and you will get a lot more consistency with strike and accuracy, and ultimately that will help you hit the ball longer and straighter than ever before. So guys, hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, like it and share it. Comment below and I'll get back to as many people as I can. There's a video just there that hopefully you'll enjoy, help you with your game. Hopefully catch up with some of you guys down here soon. Stay in contact.